Okay. So we're going to do Vanderpump Rules together. We're going to do this whole season. I'm so excited. And I was trying to think about how I wanted to do these. I'm going to look for the best gossip after the show. Yeah, I already know a lot of the gossip from like a year ago, so I'll incorporate some of that as it comes up on the show. But a lot of you guys will know that too. So I decided that I'm gonna like each night, I'll spend like an hour or two after the show and like really dig and see what's kind of out there. And then I'll give it to you as soon as I have it and upload the video at night while you guys are sleeping. So first thing in the morning, it's there. Or if you stay up late, you could watch it. Okay? But I think this is the best way to make my videos different, and so you get more out of them. So we're going to start, before I begin the highlights of tonight's episode and what I think you guys will mostly care about, we're going to start off by me sharing the best freaking fashion tip of the lifetime, maybe, potentially. Okay, so just hold on a second. You're going to love this. Hi, you guys. Look at my new pants. These are at Target, okay? They were cheap and they have Spanx like built into them. So they give you like a snatched, look at that, tummy. Look at that, flat. I mean, come on, look at my butt nose. So these are a really good find. I just wanted you guys to know. I'm gonna show you the label so you can get them if you want. These are awesome. I don't think they have a link to this in YouTube, but if they do, I will throw it up. Here they are. Look at this. Assets, they call them. Faux leather shaping leggings. Oh my God, these are score. So here's the big thing that's on the cast's mind right now as we speak, and that is how they feel about Rachel Leviss not coming back to Vanderpump Rules. Because episode 1 and the next few episodes are all a storyline build up to bring Rachel Leviss back to the group, because Lisa Vanderpump at this time and Alex Baskin are pretty sure they're going to be able to talk Rachel Leviss back into joining the show. And she's actually communicating with them at this time, and she's saying she's going to think about it. She needs to finish her mental health journey. And Lisa Vanderpump's talking money with her, and she's like, this is not enough money to justify what I went through this last season and what you would want me to do this season, and I'm probably going to end up the villain the whole time. And Lisa feels like it's fair based on what the other cast members are making, and Rachel doesn't. And Alex also tries, but she doesn't trust Alex Baskin with good reason. So Rachel Leviss is like, you know what, forget it. I'm not doing this show. I'm not coming back. And that catches Alex and Lisa Vanderpump off guard. So they sort of drive the storyline in the direction that we're getting tonight. And it's like not going to go anywhere. So just so you guys know, one of the big moments that happens tonight is Lala Kent decides on her own to call Rachel Leviss and leave her a voicemail to call her back and talk her problems over with her after calling her a hoe and all this stuff on the show. And Rachel Leviss does not return Lala's phone call, we find out later. So Alex Baskin asked, I'm sure, Lala Kent to do this voice call so that Rachel could kind of see that she wasn't going to be the villain the whole season, that Lala was going to have her back, and they thought Lala was the right one to do it because Rachel Leviss respects Lala, or did at one point or another, kind of fangirled her. So it was very strategic, them selecting Lala Kent to call Rachel and try to entice her back on the show by saying, hey, I, feel your situation and I understand what it's like to be alienated and you were lied to and, sold a story and love bombed and you felt like, you were all alone and I want to relate to you on that basis. And she handles it so delicately with Ariana Madix on the show tonight. And you can tell Ariana's annoyed and so is Scheana Shay, but they let it go because, what else are they going to do? They know production's going to try to do whatever they want. So Ariana's job is to keep pushing back and hope that she wins. And Lala's job is to keep pushing to give Rachel an opportunity to come back on the show for production. Now, Lala did not want to be friends with Rachel Leviss or help her. She was only doing this because production wanted it. But then she really dragged her tonight on Watch What Happens Live, saying, I'm so glad she never called me back or texted me because, thank goodness, I dodged that bullet again because she's evil. Look, she went on Bethany Frankel's show, okay? Dragged Bethany hard, too.
Kind of a shock at first where I'm like, wait, you reached out? I think everyone thought it would have been me.
I'm like a Sour Patch Kid. First I'm sour, then I'm sweet. Yeah. And I did feel,
I'm not sure,
as strange as it sounds, I wanted closure from Raquel. Hey, Raquel. I'm sure I'm like the last person you expected to hear from. I'd like to have a conversation with you at some point if you're open to that.
I don't even know what the next step would be. Like, if she responds, like, what the f*** are you even going to say to her? It just felt like I was fixated on that one part of the reunion of her saying, if I tell the truth, I won't have anyone.
He's asked me to not disclose all this information. And if I just like went and betrayed him, then I'd really have nobody.
I'm not saying that like she was innocent in all of this, but if this is true, he made her feel like he was saving her and that everyone else was evil. He painted a beautiful picture for her, and all of it was a complete illusion. It didn't even exist. But at the same time, I also needed to know how you could sit across from me and call me a mistress.
People were calling you a mistress.
Disengage,
Rachel
bitch.
to do that.
All the while you did what you did. And like, you have made people think that I bully you for many fucking years. You know, I'm sorry if I maybe came for you in a really vulnerable moment that you created. I wasn't your best friend.
I was 25.
I thought you were a no-name. And then I met you and hated you. But like, you owe me the courtesy of saying, I'm really sorry.
Actually,
but
yeah,
no one's
she
reached out.
does.
Like, get your story straight.
You listened to Rachel's new podcast?
Didn't listen, won't listen, will not waste my time. But you heard stuff about it. I saw it. She said she chose not to come back to the show because she didn't want to have Ariana see her person in love with someone else. So it's like she was doing Ariana a favor. She said that? Ariana is a thriving bitch. She ain't looking back and she don't care.
I don't think she gives a shit about my feelings whatsoever. I think that a publicist told her that that's the right strategy to use going forward. Also, you didn't behave in a way at all last year that would have supported that kind of narrative.
Right,
you were so upset about Ali that you were so, like, at times maybe have bothered you, but that wasn't the whole thing. And also, like, if that's the truth, then hi, Rachel, do you have something you want to say to me? Because I would love to hear your thoughts on the way you behaved when it came to me and Tom, because it seems that you got that one figured out. So if you're not going to like lean all the way into that, then you should probably shut up about it.
As far as she shouldn't have like come back and film, like whatever, like to each his own. But you know, everybody on every Bravo show is going through things at any given moment. But the cameras keep rolling, and because that's what we do to capture those tough times and the great times, but also the tough times, right?
Yeah. I think it was a mistake not coming back, but it's tough to argue with someone who says they just don't want to do a show anymore.
Well, it's like if you don't want to do the show and you want to go away and you want to distance yourself, then like go do that. You know what I mean? Like don't like start a podcast where you're going to sit there and talk about it all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
She wants to control
I'm
her
curious
narrative.
what
I don't think that's
episode 10 of her podcast is going to be, because everyone's going to get real tired hearing her just talk about Tom Sandoval.
So Tom uses the Instagram block every account related to a person feature and blocks all of Scheana Shay's social media, including her daughter. And it's kind of weird because, like, it's a baby, right? But his point was that no matter what he did, he couldn't get away from Sandoval, and he kept seeing Scheana Shay's podcast, and she was interviewing everyone in the Sun related to him. And so, for example, he said that his gardener like even could have been on that show. That's how like far she would reach to like use it to help her podcast. Okay. Oh, God. Good job, Sheena. I would do the same thing. Well, some other gossip you guys just might want to be aware from Rachel Leviss's perspective is she said that Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval never had any real fractures in their friendship and they're completely codependent on each other. And guess what? Tom Sandoval has a new lightning bolt necklace, bigger and better than ever. It's large. And it's silver, and he said he always loved lightning bolts. Ever since he used it in the logo of his first place that he started, TomTom's. And the gold one that he used to have was ripped off his neck, obviously, because it was Rachel Leviss and him had that in common. It was like their secret symbol of their love affair. And that one got ripped off, so that's gone, but he's got a brand new giant one. Well, the lightning bolt necklace actually came from his good friend Ali, who passed away. Ali was not talking to his best friend from childhood, Tom Sandoval, and I did do a video about this. I'll put it in the description of this video if you want to see it. It's pretty sad stuff, and it probably added a lot of drama into Scandal for Tom Sandoval. It was some pretty dark shit, just saying. So in tonight's episode, you guys are going to meet Tom Schwartz's new pets that he has, besides a forest of plants, which makes him feel at home, he says. He has now 3 beetles that he named, I guess, after his brothers, and those beetles were a gift given to him by his good friend Kyle Chan, who's a jeweler and is very close with Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz. They collab together, etc. There he is, Kyle Chan. You can see it on the backdrop there. And so Kyle was at some sort of convention and invited Tom Schwartz and bought the beetles for him. And now those are his pets. And Tom Schwartz's apartment is really messy and awful and small. And everybody's wondering why he doesn't just clean up his life. And it's like almost like he's in a poor me phase because he's lost his wife, his house, etc. Okay, so here's the highlights of tonight, episode 1 of Vanderpump Rules. Tom Sandoval has a dinner date with James Kennedy. James Kennedy announces that he's sober. He had to get sober. If you don't know why he had to get sober, that's in the post. I think Rachel Leviss is going to spill it. She kind of alluded to it. This last week. So the reason Tom Schwartz is really out to dinner with James is because nobody wants to have dinner with him. And Tom Sandoval is doing the reality show that he did with Nick Viall. By the way, Sandoval's going on the Viall Files. Speaking of the Viall Files, let me play you this.
Toxic relationships before. But I loved Ariana. I really fucking did. And the whole process of breaking up with her, this happened over 4 months. Like, this wasn't like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say.
Is there a point when you look back and reflect on what you would have done differently?
Yes.
Hold on, let me finish the question. Was there a moment where you realized this was the moment I should have ended the relationship?
That moment was probably, a year before we broke up.
Okay.
It just was like, I woke up before her, went to sleep after her, wake up and make her a dumpling latte. I instigated
What's up with the accent? Dumpling latte.
I was the fucking only one, man.
So if it wasn't reciprocated, why not break up?
Because it's not that fucking easy.
But that's
You're with somebody for 9 fucking years. You don't
Sometimes the right decision is hard, Tom.
Great, thank you.
It's like therapy.
I get it. It's fucking hard. It's really hard. And I didn't know how to fucking handle it. I didn't know. I fucking handled it wrong. I know I did. I fucking know I did, man. I fucked up.
What is this that Ariana is now suing you?
Oh, she's not suing me.
Oh, clear it up, because that's what every headline that I read the other day said.
What?
I think that's a little clickbaity. I think it's just a motion to expedite the sale of the house.
Okay.
It's I forget the legal term for it.
So,
because thank you for clearing that up, because every headline was, we were in New York. And we were like, oh, fuck, like, Ariana's suing Tom.
Yeah.
So that's not happening.
He's
So
forcing the sale.
Ariana is trying to make it out that I am a psychopath for wanting to keep the house that we have. Meanwhile,
Why do you, and how so? How is she doing that?
she literally said that.
To you?
No, you can watch it on the trailer. But
What's your point?
Ariana is making it out to be that me wanting to keep the house is a psychopath move, but it's not. She's like, he gave me a shit offer. I gave her an offer of $3.1 million. We bought our house for 2.050.
2.05. Okay.
So you're
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
you gave a
yeah.
top market.
Yeah, top market.
And you split it?
Yeah. I
Okay.
gave her an offer to buy her out.
She bought a $2 million house. You both paid $1 million?
We both paid like $250 down payment.
Down payment. And then you split the assets 50-50.
Yeah.
So you both own half of it legally.
Yes.
Okay. And then
So
you
I-
offered her $3 million.
3.1.
3.1.
3.1 as a buyout.
Okay.
And
how does that work? So you're
so
saying,
basically it's like
but seriously, for
Closure-
people who are going through this, explain how.
closing costs. I mean, Ariana hasn't paid a single bill for this house in 8 months. She hasn't paid the mortgage.
Does she live there?
She hasn't lived there in 2 or 3 months.
Okay. Is
I
she
didn't live
paying her
there for the
mortgage?
first 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah. All her shit's in the master bedroom. Like,
Sure.
yeah. She comes and goes, shows up, whatever.
I gotta say, to both of you guys' credit, I feel like you've handled it up until now. It's getting a little messy, but you've handled it in a very mature way because it's one of the biggest investments of your life. It's a major asset. It's not a great time to sell.
It's not.
Do you think Ariana's being petty?
Yes. Big time.
And do
We
you
put
think
fucking- we
She
put
wants to
like-
torture you, Tom. Duh. Allie is now living with James Kennedy and as supportive as ever. We see her a little bit on tonight's show. But don't worry, James wants us to know that although he's not drinking any alcohol or doing drugs, he's California sober. So he's doing the ganja a few times a day, actually. So out of desperation, production puts James and Tom Schwartz together for dinner. And James says, I know what it's like to be alienated from the group. And he does. And so Tom agrees and says, let's go to dinner, or thanks for having dinner with me. And that's that pretty much. He just reconfirms that Ariana's not talking to him and he wishes that she would. So then we jump to Scheana Shay and Ariana Madix at a spa treatment. They're getting massages together in Century City. Looks so good. And what we find out is that Scheana Shay has not been drinking for the last few weeks either because she's on Zoloft, because she found out she has ADHD and that the show was agitating it with all the Scandival stuff. And so she was having anxiety about Brock Davies cheating on her in the same way that Tom Sandoval cheated. And for some reason, when she's talking about scenarios she's stressed about, she said, I just kept imagining Lala having an affair with Brock Davies, which I thought was really unusual because you do know that they're like very close. Like Lala talks about Brock almost like another father to her kid and like a boyfriend, but they're not. So no wonder Scheana Shay felt like this secret thought that could they have a relationship behind her back like what happened with Ariana and Tom Sandoval. Yeah, I didn't know if you caught that. Now, the rules are clear. Ariana Madix wants no mutual friends of Tom Sandoval. So Tom Schwartz is out. And that is something that we kind of understand from the beginning of the episode. But at this point, I need to tell you what Rachel Leviss said, which was that Tom Schwartz from the very beginning knew, like at the earliest possible moment. And also that Tom Schwartz was the one who was supposed to get Rachel's letters when she would write Tom Sandoval from the mental health institution that she went, aka kind of a fancy spa, but had... So Tom Schwartz was supposed to be still, after all this came out, the guy hiding their communication, their talking this and that, because Tom Sandoval was afraid that he was being spied on with his interaction with Rachel Leviss. And in fact, tonight we find out in episode 1 that he bought a white noise machine to hide what he was saying because he was sure Ariana's friends, when they came over, were listening to his phone calls and things when he was there. So this was really about, again, hiding Rachel Leviss and his relationship even after the freaking reunion finale and everything and the backlash. And Schwartz was still going to be the cover man if Rachel Leviss is telling the truth. And I think she is. So then we jump to TomTom's for a party that I don't remember what the hell the party was about, but we're at a party at TomTom's. And Lisa Vanderpump is noticeably wearing these earrings. And I wanted to point these out to you guys because notice that they have a giant evil eye on them, which is a protection against people sending you bad energy. And I'd say Lisa Vanderpump is feeling a humongous wave of bad energy in her direction. I wonder if this is surprising to you guys. So we see everybody having a good time at TomTom's. Ariana Madix gets very upset because she really associates the place now with Sandoval and the cheating, and was a very happy place for her for so many years. And now she feels like it's all a lie. So she gets very emotional, and we see the girls have her back. Now, Lisa Vanderpump tries to show affection and love to Ariana Madix in this scene. She reaches out and really makes an effort to kiss Ariana when she walks in. And I noticed Ariana kind of brushed her off. And let's face it, Ariana Madix right now is a star, a big star. She's maybe even eclipsed Lisa Vanderpump. Ooh, that's not going to make her happy. But I noticed that and I said, she feels betrayed by Lisa Vanderpump. It came across on camera. I noticed little things like that. So at this event, they say, oh my God, we have to do a girls' night alone, quiet, like get out of all this TomTom shit. And by the way, Tom Schwartz has been totally ignored by the entire group. Like he's wandering around in the background of the party. No one wants to interact with him and he's being iced out. Ariana won't speak to him. And so somewhere in this, Katie goes over to pick up the dogs from Tom Schwartz, and we see, that his apartment's crap. I've already covered that part in the beginning of this video. And Katie talks to him, and he asks if she would put a good word for him in with Ariana. So the girls go out for a dinner. It's Katie, Ariana, Scheana Shay, and Lala. And Lala ends up going left, and she starts off by telling Ariana that she hopes that Ariana trusts her and to let her in, and she knows that she hasn't fully given herself over to Lala, and she hopes that's going to change now that Tom Sandoval isn't telling her to be careful. And Ariana's like, to be honest, I always held back from you because Tom Sandoval told me to be careful about you and to watch my back. And the other women chime in that they don't trust Lala either in a certain way, but like they're all going to let their guards down now that Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval are out of the picture. And then guess what Lala does in true Lala form? She drops the bomb that she's been thinking a lot about it, and she's really ready to maybe have a dialogue with Rachel Leviss to possibly forgive her because she's been the other woman and she wants to, bond on that level, even though she was absolutely the worst, meanest person to Rachel. By the way, Rachel complains about Lala and really being bullied by her in real life on the show more than any other person. So it's so ironic that it's Lala who's doing this. Obviously, this is the producer saying call, and then we see her make the phone call, which you heard earlier in the audio. So that's that, okay? And this is all to get Rachel Leviss back on the show. And guess what? She's going to drop the bomb any minute that she ain't coming. Scheana Shay said, I could never forgive Rachel Leviss because she filed a restraining order against me, and I'll never forgive her for that. Now, Rachel Leviss said, look, bitch, you assaulted me, and I had a right to file a restraining order, but I didn't follow through with it. I let it go because I didn't want to hurt you and your family. Now, the reason Rachel Leviss thinks that Scheana Shay flipped out so hard on this restraining order, because obviously if someone punches you in the face, you have a right to file a restraining order. Well, Scheana Shay says that, she didn't hit Rachel Leviss. And so this is why it, stings so hard. But Rachel's like, you're crazy. You did hit me. And what Rachel said was the reason that Sheena really got upset was that Brock Davies, because of his domestic violence and abuse and all this stuff to his previous wife, by the way, he still hasn't seen his kids, that Scheana Shay was worried that there could be some sort of, backlash in some way against her child with Brock. Now, I didn't understand this totally, and maybe Rachel didn't, this was her speculating. But basically, she was like afraid that child services or something was going to come because she, Brock had domestic violence and then Sheena hits a girl. And so maybe this would cause her problems in that way. I couldn't really piece together what Rachel Leviss was worried about with Sheena in this way. Now, Brock, I get it. Because certainly if he's trying to see his kids in Australia and he hasn't been able to, because I think his wife said until the child support is paid back, she's not letting him see them, then, he's going to keep wanting to try. And unfortunately, because he has a domestic violence thing, if he has some other person in his household, aka Sheena, with some sort of restraining order, then the ex-wife definitely could use that and say, look, Sheena's not safe around the children and neither is Brock, never happening. And that might be really what Scheana Shay is worried about. Tom Sandoval got a lot of backlash recently because he took a picture with a tiger and he apologized for being dumb and not knowing that, in a way, taking a picture with a tiger could influence people to keep having exotic animals as pets and or as tourist attractions, and it's really bad for the animals. So to be aware of not doing that, and he felt bad that he didn't know and sort of like retracted on that. So thought you would, in Tom Sandoval's way, right? It's never like what you're hoping for, kind of like Erica Jane. Like, you never get the apology you really want, but his way of doing it. So I thought I'd mention that here because it's true. Please don't support places like SeaWorld or, places with exotic animals. It's so cruel to the animal. It really is. Anyway, I know a lot of gossip to do with Vanderpump and Lisa Vanderpump and all the different pumpy things flying around. So if you guys have something in particular you're curious about that you feel like hasn't been answered by anyone yet, definitely reach out to me and make a comment below this video and I will try to get you the answer by next week using my contacts. Okay? Just to be helpful. And I love spending time with you guys. Hopefully I've got some new people on here because this is different than Beverly Hills. Let's hope. And some overlap.